Okay, everybody, welcome back to the third part of Ask the King for Saturday. For Thursday, September 5th, 2013. I told you we had a lot of questions this time around, and I'm revealing a lot of stuff that previously people have asked, and I never really gave the full story, and I think a lot of kind of, personal stuff has come out, and that's good. Because, like I said, I'm one of the most open, real people on the internet. I'm not afraid to share any information with you guys, so I hope that you appreciate it, and I hope that now you have a little bit more of a perspective on things, okay? So let's continue. I've got way more questions, if you can believe it, all right? All right, next question. Let's see here. Here we go. Okay. This one is from Super Blind Man, and Super Blind Man asks, "Greetings, Phil. You have said in the past that you have no intention of using either the Xbox One or the PS4 streaming capabilities for your videos. You've given good reasons for this, and that's fine. However, in keeping with your philosophy of doing complete walkthroughs for new systems, would it not behoove you to try each one once so you can definitively say that both indeed suck? Make one short video streaming from each console, perhaps, and on the heels of that, do you think your console walkthrough of the PS4 will include its play while downloading capability? Seems to me this could actually be a unique way to show off a feature and introduce a game all at once. Thanks." Well, Super Blind Man, very interesting question. And the bottom line is I have said in the past, you're absolutely right, that I do not plan on using the Xbox One nor the PS3 streaming capabilities for me to continue doing my gameplay on Twitch TV. For multiple reasons. I mean, number one, as I've said, you can't do, like I'm doing right now, this cool overlay. You couldn't do overlays. I couldn't transition over to pictures like this. You wouldn't be able to see this stuff. None of this stuff is possible when using those consoles. Those consoles, like the raw footage, and that's it. Okay? Raw footage with commentary, that's it. That's number one. Number two, there's been no confirmed confirmation that you can actually save these videos locally to the hard drive of the console and then upload them elsewhere. There's been no confirmation you can upload videos to YouTube. So that's a huge detriment. Wow, I can stream, but I can't put anything on YouTube. That's the #1 video sharing site on the internet. Okay? Big detriment. So for me personally, I don't see any benefit whatsoever in using the streaming software inside of those consoles because I already have a superior setup. But I could fully understand why someone who doesn't have a big complex streaming setup like me would like the capability of streaming on Twitch. Therefore, yes, during my walkthrough of the consoles when they are released, I absolutely 100% will be trying out the streaming capability of those consoles. We're going to be testing the dubbing capability, basically the commentary capability of the consoles here on Twitch. So, and of course I'll record those videos and put them up on YouTube as well, if possible. And that's the thing. I don't know if there's going to be a way to, if you're just using their software, how do you save it for YouTube? I don't know if that's possible. But I will be checking that stuff out in my walkthroughs of the consoles. I'm going to be trying out most, if not all, of the features of the consoles. You want to, well, I'll try to watch TV on my damn Xbox One and see if there's really an advantage. I'll try the voice commands and see if it actually picks up my voice, or if it doesn't hear diddly dick and it fucking is turning shit on and off nonstop when I don't want it to, which is probably what's going to end up happening in the long run. So that's going to be what I plan on doing for both consoles. I hope that you guys will join me for the launches of both those consoles in the future. Now that we have release dates, now we're looking a lot more, more towards those dates for that, okay? Next question is actually the last question from my forums, and then we're going to move into the Twitter and the Facebook questions, and then we're going to take questions from the Q&A, okay, in the stream chat. This question is from Marvel Fanboy, and Marvel Fanboy asks, "Hey Phil, I'd like to know your opinion on the state of the gaming industry. Today, Irrational Games, the makers of BioShock and BioShock Infinite, excuse me, among other games, announced layoffs at their studio." Hold on a second, I'm trying to get this. Damn it, I resized it by accident. There we go. I wanted to move it so I could see the stream chat. Okay. They announced layoffs at their studio. It amazes me that even when a studio creates a blockbuster hit that receives critical acclaim and really great sales, that they're still forced to do things like this. This has been very prevalent in the gaming industry in the past couple of years, and I've just wanted to ask you, do you believe that the industry needs to change in order to survive the coming years? And if you do, what would it need to do? So, there you go. There you have it. I love every day when I turn on my TV and I watch my news, and the news is, new announcement just came out, there's an increase in jobs everywhere, and, 50,000 jobs were created this week in the United States. We're doing better, the economy's turning for the better, and everything's great, and don't worry, that recession from 2 years ago is over, and everything's, roses and honey, and we're getting back on our feet. And I sit there like this, and then I read the article, Irrational Games lays off a bunch of their workforce. The company that I used to work for lays off even more people. Big companies laying the fuck off. And it makes me fucking sick. Because the bottom line is, America, and I'm sure it's worldwide, I can only speak from my personal experiences living in the United States of America, America is losing its job base. The companies that are careers, okay? A company that you can work for your whole life. It could be a way to support your family. That company respects you. You get promoted. You get retirement plans. That fast track and that way to live is going away in the United States of America. All right? The 50,000 jobs that they're announcing, oh, they just opened. Guess where they are? McDonald's, Wendy's, fast food, service industry, low-level, entry-level, unskilled labor jobs where the wage isn't even a living wage and you cannot survive on it, okay? This is why so many people now, they get laid off, they have to go work. I work McDonald's Tuesday and Thursday. I work Burger King Monday and Wednesday. I work at KFC on the weekends. And I'm also trying to do something on the internet because they're trying to make ends meet. They're not making enough money to even fucking survive anymore. I said this in a previous video, but it was reported. They did a survey. In the United States of America, for the very first time in history, over 1/3 of the people in their 30s, so you're talking age 30 to 39, have moved back in with their parents because they got laid off from their jobs and they have nowhere else to go. How on earth does all this data translate into the economy is better and things are getting better? No, things are getting insanely worse. And then we get this story about, oh, Syria. Syria's horrible. Syria used chemical weapons to attack their people because there were people protesting against the regime that's in political power there. And what happens? Oh, did you notice something about television? As soon as the Syria attack happened, I hear nothing about healthcare. I hear nothing about the economy. I hear nothing about any of these pressing issues that the citizens of America need to be concerned about. All I hear about is Syria, Syria, Syria. We got to send troops to Syria. We shouldn't send troops to Syria. We're going to vote on Syria. Are we going to go attack Syria? Are we going to defend Syria? Zoop-a-doop-a-doo. This country is backing Syria. This country is not backing Syria. Fuck Syria. I don't fucking care about Syria. I care about what the fuck is in front of my face right now. I just went to Chicago for vacation. I probably saw, no lie, 100 homeless people on the streets begging for fucking money. One of them had a sign, I swear to you, I'm not lying, had a sign, I am a skilled laborer. I have job skills. I was laid off from my full-time job 20 months ago, could not find work for a year. 8 months ago I lost my house, I'm now homeless. Please help me in any way you can. I'm willing to work to make money, no one will hire me. And I sat there, and I covered my face, and I seriously teared up. Because I'm like, this is disgusting. This is the state of our country. You've got booming industries. The video game industry right now is in a boom, and they're laying people off. This is a crisis, but everything in our media and our government says it's not a problem. You want to know why? Because they live up here in their ivory fucking towers. They're not the ones that are getting laid off. We are. We're the ones that are affected. They're the ones that are high and mighty with all the money and power. Oh, we gotta attack Syria. Are you out of your fucking minds? Fix the shit at home that you've never fixed before you worry about the rest of the world's fucking problems. I'm tired. I know this is a political rant at this point, but this is a very political question about layoffs. That's what's going on. And it's not just the gaming industry. It's the entire United States of America in general. It's a crisis because you've got another generation of young people coming up. There's nowhere for them to work. What are they supposed to do with their lives? Okay? I don't know. There's no jobs. What are you supposed to do? I really have no idea. So, getting back on topic, in particular with Irrational Games, yeah, how disheartening is it to... This is a company that made one of the best games of the year, one of the best-selling games of the year, and they had to lay people off. What it tells me is a couple things. Bad management, obviously. Bad management internally. If you can't manage your company, if your whole goal is to make a game that's going to be a sales hit, you make a game that's a sales hit, and then you still have to lay people off, you fucked up. You're a horrible manager, and you should not be in control of that company, okay? So the bottom line is whoever's in the upper management of that company doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, all right? Number two, it's just a sign of the times that right now, unfortunately, not a lot of people have a lot of money, and even though the game was a hit, what if that game had come out 5, 6, even 8 years ago when the Xbox 360 first launched? It probably would have sold more. And if you're actually looking at sales numbers of games, the only games whose sales numbers are increasing are things like Call of Duty. You have the pop culture phenomenon Minecraft, but other games aren't doing as hot as they used to. You just had a game a year ago, Hitman Absolution, was ridiculous, sold millions upon millions of copies, critically acclaimed, everyone loved the game. The company laid off everyone who made the game and said it was a flop. Huh? And it's because it's like they're all expecting to make these insane amount of money on their games when I don't know what world they're living. They're still living in the world of 8 years ago before the recession. And I think that's what these game companies need to realize. We're not living 8 years ago anymore. You've got to now budget yourself. You've got to make sure that you have, if you have a sales expectation and you meet that expectation, that it's enough to support your whole company. It's quite obvious that's not what Irrational Games did. They have a great dev team that made a great game, but the management internally of the company is shit. So it's very unfortunate to hear that. It's very unfortunate to hear when anyone gets laid off. And I'm very upset about the whole situation, as you can tell, since I went on a crazy rant about it right now, political rant. But, you know, it is what it is, and unfortunately, this is the time when all of us, we have to tighten our belts, you know what I mean? We have to start spending less, we have to start being more conservative with our money, we have to prepare for the worst, because the chances are that things are not going to get better overnight, because they haven't, they've gotten worse in the past several years, and we have to prepare that something big is going to change, because I get the feeling that if things keep going this way and things don't flip more positively, things will change. It's just not going to be the kind of change that you're used to. It's not going to be a new law is made or Wall Street gets a boom. It's going to be a revolution, and that's not a good thing. To have a revolution where people overthrow the way things are going because it's going so badly for so many people. And I think that's where our government needs to really start worrying because, isn't it funny that all of a sudden we find out that the NSA has phone taps on everyone during a time period when we're all afraid of terrorism, but at the same time, everyone's getting laid off, no one's content, no one has a job, and there's massive amounts of rallying against our government. And now our government starts to monitor everyone. And that's not a conspiracy theory, that's just truth. I'm not saying that our government is purposely spying to stop a revolution. I'm just saying, isn't it funny that that's in place at the time when this kind of dissension is happening? Okay, so now onto the Twitter and Facebook questions. Okay, so on Twitter, this one is from Scott Trasnell on Twitter, and he says, "Hey Phil, what was your favorite co-op playthrough ever with John Rambo?" Now that's a tough question because we've done so many good ones. Some of my personal favorites are the ones like platformers, like Rayman Origins, for example. Some of the Mario games that we've played over the past couple of years. But some of my other favorites are, for example, some of the things, just the weird experiments that we've tried. The PS Move. Remember when we did all the games on the PS Move when the PS Move first came out? And we said the PS Move would be a flash-in-the-pan piece of shit, and after a few months no one would care about it, and lo and behold, who the fuck knows anything about the PS Move anymore? Who's used it for any game ever in the past couple years? Funny that I'm mentioning that because the PS Move can actually be used for Puppeteer, which comes out next week, and I may actually be trying to do that. I might even try to do picture-in-picture with Puppeteer. We'll have to see. But the bottom line is that those weird playthroughs, remember the Kinect? Remember with the Kinect games we played? Remember we did Rise of Nightmares? How funny that was? Those are some of my favorite playthroughs because those are the kind of things, the unique experiences that experiencing them with someone else added massively to the experience, okay? Some other games, Dead Island, the original Dead Island playthrough was fun as hell. Being able to do a full co-op playthrough of that with John was great. Resident Evil 6, a lot of people will have issue with that. They say they didn't like the game. I love Resident Evil 6, and I loved playing it with John. So there's a lot of games out there that are some of my favorites. Those are my personal favorites, at least a few of them. I'm sure there are much more that I'm forgetting, but those are some of my personal favorites of co-op that I've done with John. Okay? Next question is from Kenny. Kenny5, actually. He's actually asked me many questions over the years. He says, do you think you'll still be gaming even when you're an older guy? Quite honestly, probably. I don't see why I would just suddenly stop gaming. Gaming has been my hobby for pretty much my whole life, whether it was, console gaming casually, whether it was competitive gaming with Street Fighter, whether it's doing it for a living like I'm doing now. But it is something that I love. I love video games, and I probably will, until I die, enjoy video games in some form. Now, video games are evolving. They're becoming more mobile experiences. Maybe at one point in my life I will stop playing consoles, and I'll just be playing little mini games and shit. Who knows? But I don't know. I can't. No one can predict the future. But I am a gamer at heart. I've always enjoyed it. I don't think I would ever quit. Now, am I going to be doing this at full capacity my whole life? I could tell you wholeheartedly, absolutely not. But I will be doing it at least for the near future, and hopefully I can find a way to turn it into something that is not just making videos, but can be something bigger and better, and that would be cool. Okay? All right, next question. From Iggy87, he says, will the King of Hate ever make a cameo of sorts in the Schnozman and Hole Punch series? Plus, thoughts on episode 100 of the show. First of all, let me go over my thoughts. Episode 100 of the show, which is John Rambo and OJ's ongoing podcast-style show, was last night. I watched it. By the way, I did not stream during it because I wanted more people to give it attention. I watched it live, and I actually called into the show as a special guest, in addition to a lot of other people for over the years have been a part of the show, including Howard, Chap, Ed Drada. Lots of fans called in. They participated in a game show. It was really an awesome show because it was kind of the culmination of 100 episodes, and I said this on the show, and I'll say it here. When you reach 100 of anything, that is an amazing accomplishment, because that is a lot, and it is to be celebrated, it is to be honored and applauded that something like that has come out of the show with the amount of hard work, dedication, and, just intelligence and creativity that those guys have. And I really enjoy the show. I actually am a fan of the show. I've seen every episode of the show, and I've never missed one. If I miss it, I watch it later. And I love what they do with the show, and I wish them all the best in the future with the show. And hopefully I can be involved with it, in the future as well as I have been over the past several years, okay? Now, Schnozman and a Hole Punch, that's John's baby, all right? That's completely on John Rambo. If he ever wants, me to be involved with it in any way, shape, or form, I'm more than willing to be involved with it. I don't know if it's a fact that I can't drive on the highway to get out to his filming locations, because he hasn't filmed in this area. He's always filmed in, like, Stanford and other places out there. So, it's I would assume that's a big hassle for him. If he ever wanted me in the show, he would have to come pick me up, or I have to drive to Stanford on side roads, which could take, like, hours. So, I can understand why, he hasn't been jumping out at the bit and saying, Phil, be in the show, be on the show. Plus, let's be honest, I'm not a very good actor, okay? I am no Charlton Heston, to say the least, or Marlon Brando, or whatever great actor you want to compare. I am nowhere near being a good actor, and I completely understand that. Just look at Project 7, how campy it was, and how bad of an actor I was in that. So, I don't know. I mean, it's always a possibility. If you ever asked me to be on it, I would, okay? He's a friend. He's done a lot for me over the years, and I would pretty much help him out in any way that he needed. So if he ever needed me for that kind of stuff, yes, I would be in it. Okay? Next question is from Vimto Misfits. He says, what's your opinion on the Xbox One being released in only 13 countries, with Japan not being one of them? Is it epic fail, or is this some kind of an odd strategy? I don't think Microsoft gives a flaming fuck about Japan. I think that Microsoft hoped that when they released the Xbox 360 that it would catch on and it would compete directly with Sony in Japan. It did not. The Xbox 360 was almost a complete failure in Japan. Like ridiculous amounts of sales numbers for the PlayStation 3 compared to minuscule amounts for the Xbox 360. It never really caught on. Really, literally what Microsoft is doing is they are rushing to get their console out to compete directly with the PS4, okay? And they don't have a worldwide release plan. What they've done is they've focused in on the 13 countries that were their sales leader with the Xbox 360, and that's all they care about right now. From a company perspective, from a business perspective, it actually does make perfect sense. Focus your attentions on the countries that have supported your products in the past, and hey, if Japan ever gets it, they get it. But they didn't really care about the Xbox 360. PlayStation 4 is coming out. Obviously, everyone in Japan is going to buy that, so why worry about it? That's really the attitude Microsoft's taking. From a business perspective, it actually does make sense. From a cultural perspective, from a gamer's perspective, you might feel a little pissed off, because what if you were one of the people who in one of those territories really liked the Xbox 360, and now you find out the newest Microsoft console is not coming out in your country, but the PS4 is? Duh, what are you going to buy? So really, it almost seems to me like Microsoft is scaling back their strategy. They're not going for a worldwide sales strategy with the Xbox One. They're looking to just focus in on certain territories. Will it work or blow up in their face? Remains to be seen. All right, the Slinky Bitch in particular on Twitter asked this. However, a lot of people asked this or are interested to hear about what do I think now about the PS4 and the Xbox One's console release dates. They've finally been publicly released in, this is weird, so brace yourself. Xbox One has a worldwide release in 13 countries. That's important to note. It's only in those 13 countries. November 22nd, 2013. It's a Friday. PlayStation 4 will be released in the United States and North American territories 1 week before that. So what is that, November 15th? It'll be released in European territories and some other international places November, the week after that, so November 27th. So it's a weird staggering. United States gets the PS4, 13 countries get the Xbox One, rest of the world gets the PS4, in that order. First of all, a huge win for Sony. And the reason I say that is because right now, I can 100% guarantee you that in the territories where the PS4 is coming out first, people are buying Watch Dogs as a launch title. And I 100% absolutely am getting Watch Dogs on PS4. There is no question about it anymore. I will be getting Watch Dogs on PS4. It's a no-brainer. It comes out first here in the United States, and it has an hour's worth of additional console-exclusive content. They did it. That won me over. Watch Dogs on PS4, 100%, and it's a launch day title. Yes, a game that everyone's waiting for. It's going to be an amazing launch day title. Really gets me excited, okay? So, that being said, I think that the PS4 has a humongous advantage in the United States and the territories that it's releasing that week before Xbox One. But now, you kind of got to scratch your chin, and you got to say, now wait a minute, what about the territories where, like Europe, where the PS4 isn't coming out till the end of the month? And you're like, so Xbox One technically is going to come out before PS4. It's only a week, but that's kind of interesting, because now those people have a tough decision. Do you buy Xbox One and get Watch Dogs for it to play it a week early? Or do you wait a week and get it on PS4 and get the exclusive content? And I think a lot of gamers are going to have a tough decision to make. For the most part, that was disgusting, by the way, excuse me. For the most part, I still think the PS4 is going to completely dominate the Xbox One in sales, simply because of all the negative stuff that happened this year associated with the Xbox One, solely because of Don Matrick, okay? So, it's unfortunate because looking at the launch lineups, for PS4 right now, I'm excited for Watch Dogs, for Knack, for Killzone, and I believe it's, is it Drive Club? Those 4 games look really interesting to me and look like they're going to be a great launch day lineup. Xbox 360, you've got Killer Instinct, you've got Rise, you've got Dead Rising 3, you've got Crimson Dragon. So right there you've got 4 unique different games. Oh, by the way, I think is it Forza? There's another driving game that's exclusive to Xbox One. That looks like a great launch day lineup. So now we're kind of stacking up. Okay, all right. Now I'm liking this because you're seeing the launch day games, you're seeing the dates, things are coming together, and I'm starting to plan out. Actually, I'm going to talk with Rambo about it this Saturday about our plans, because he wants to be here for the launch of those consoles. He wants to be here to experience these consoles firsthand, to try out the technology, to try out the games on launch day, just like we did with the Wii U. So we're going to do the same exact thing with those games. We're going to do previews of every game. Probably we're going to be playing Killer Instinct like crazy, a new fighting game. That's freaking awesome, you know what I mean? And it's going to be interesting, it's going to be fun. So definitely I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what console is going to trump what. I think worldwide PS4 will do better just because of the negative association with the whole Xbox One. in the long run, can Xbox One catch up? Possibly. But the fact that it has a bigger, a stronger, or a more expensive price point, $100 more to get a fucking Kinect that almost nobody wants, that's a major negative. I don't know. We're going to have to see what happens, okay? Alright. So, shit. I still got 4 more questions, plus I got the Q&A. I can't believe it. I have to make this a 4-parter, everybody. This is going to be the very first 4-part Ask the King. So I'm going to go on break right now on Twitch TV. I'll be back in like 3 minutes. I'm going to split the video. We're going to be one more part of Ask the King. That's going to be the final Facebook questions, and then we're going to do the Q&A questions in the stream chat. So stick in there, everyone. I'll be right back, and then we'll finish up Ask the King, okay? Thanks for tuning in. Be right back, or if you're on YouTube, just go ahead to part 4.